Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Apologies for trying to set up a live 2 or 3 times this morning. It is finally working. We are finally here. I believe it's somewhat functioning. So apologies if you have been waiting around for for me to be starting. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the game yesterday. Obviously, 4-0 win. Really, really good performance. Really happy with it. We're talking about a lot of the key stuff. Odobert's debut, Bissouma's brilliance. We're going to be talking about Sonny, Mickey Van der Ven. We're going to be talking about a lot of the good stuff that came out of yesterday, because there was a lot yesterday that really we could be hanging our hats on. So we're talking about the game yesterday, going in some stats, all that good stuff, talking through some Ange comments. You know what it is. You know how it works. Just want to say, though, if you're watching this and, subscribe, you're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And no, I'm not hungover. So there's always that slight win out of yesterday. I'm not that hungover, I promise. Hey, Van Gogh, mate, how are we? Take 2. All right, Jazz. All right, coming in here, causing me anguish. Yeah, actually, it's take 3, mate. That's how bad it's been. Yesterday was Sonado Nazaro. It was very good yesterday. There was a murder yesterday, Rec. Morning, Sonia. How are we? Yeah, loads of good stuff. When will Solanke play? Well, we'll talk about injuries and so on and so forth in a little while. So, yeah, let's sort of jump in. We'll go through just some key sort of notable things that I took away from the game yesterday, because I mean, we went into this game yesterday after having the world imploding on us from Monday Night Football against Leicester, and the first 45 being so amazing, the next 10 minutes of the second half being really good, and then after that falling apart. And yesterday was one of those that, had maybe Spurs got in at 0-0 at half time, I think you would have probably thought about the world that it might be starting to implode again. But it didn't. It didn't do that whatsoever. Spurs came out firing on all cylinders, in my opinion, yesterday. It was a performance that, going in at halftime 2-0. Yeah, the last part of the first half, we were it was a bit difficult. It was a bit awkward. But you know what? I think looking at how the first half went, I'd have taken a slightly ropey ends with the amount of great stuff that came in that first half. I mean, 2-0 up at half-time is perfect. You've really taken them out of the game completely. And if I'm honest, I'm worried about Everton this year. I think Everton could be in real trouble the way they've gone about. Now, we're 2 games in, 36 games still to play, so it's not in the world, but you've got to be a little bit worried if you are an Everton fan. Looking at the second half, obviously, another 2-0 in the second half with Romero and Sonny. Again, it was a great performance. It was a proper Ange Ball performance. And what I mean by that is, Ange Ball isn't about, hey, look at these beautiful clean sheets and sitting back and, we're taking a 2-0 lead, we're going to sit back now. No, it's go get the third, go get a fourth. Just in a weird way, put your foot on the other team's neck. And they did that yesterday. Everton really, really struggled with the pace that we played at. They struggled with the intensity that we played at. And all in all, if you don't look at that performance and think, God, that reminded me a lot of early last season, then I don't know what you were watching at the start of last season, because that reminded me a lot of that. I mean, obviously, the second game last season, we played at home against Manchester United with a 2-0 win, and we were very good then. But yesterday, I think we were very, very solid. Have I seen the Amanda Stavelings? I have. May talk about that in a bit, but not just this second. What can Solanke add to this? So he can add a lot. Sonny played through the centre and then onto the wing when Richie came on. If Odobert can play right side too, he will take Johnson's spot. You never know. Mickey run for the opposition box. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Morning, Ronnie, mate. How are we? I hope Solanke's back for the Newcastle game. Well, he supposedly has the potential of being back for the Newcastle game. Would you say Spurs played 2 10s, Maddison and Kulu? Yeah, probably. But then you look at Arsenal did it with Havertz and Odegaard, although it worked to a degree, but I didn't think Odegaard was as good when Havertz was playing in midfield. It's much better when Havertz is up front. With obviously Man City, obviously Bernardo Silva and KDB, or that kind of thing. So yeah, it can be done. It can be good as well. So look, let's go through some stats first and foremost. So Spurs 71% possession, so absolutely dominant in that regard. 13 shots, 7 on target, 12 corners again. Spurs love a corner. I can't remember how many we had in the last game. We had 9 in the first half of the Leicester game. So, it's ridiculous. But, Spurs also scored from a corner. Romero scored. It was lovely. We scored from a corner. It was beautiful. Team that played. Let's see. Obviously, I just read out a comment about playing the 2-10. So Vic in goal, Porro at right back, Destiny at left back, Van der Ven and Romero at centre half, Bissouma back in a team with Kulusevski and Maddison. Then your front three from right to left is Johnson, Sonny, and Odobert. So let's talk about the man in the middle who had a point to prove, Bissouma. I want to know your thoughts and feelings on Bissouma, because I tell you what, that was one, it was needed in terms of, I think a lot of people who are maybe not as pro Bissouma maybe needed it so they can be reminded that, he's still a decent player. Morning, Bobby. Morning, Scott. But, when we think of when we were so good last year, if Bissouma was at it, we were at it. I genuinely felt that. You could have a winger or two, or even another midfielder who might be carried through the game a little bit. But if Bissouma, Sonny, and your 2 centre-halves are at it, we were at it. And yesterday showed. He was fantastic yesterday, Bissouma. Absolutely fantastic. I could not have wanted any more from him. Getting involved tackling-wise, winning tackles, beating players, moving the ball with pace. Obviously, the goal itself, by the way, absolute belter of a goal, which in off the bar, underneath the bar, and in, it was beautiful. And you know what? He made a mistake. We've talked about the mistake that he's made. He was an idiot for it. We can all agree that. But you can also say he was bloody great yesterday. And I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, and some people want to sit there and go, yeah, but he actually misplaced a pass in the 72nd minute. And you're like, shut up, you weirdo. For what he did yesterday, he was brilliant. He gave Maddison so much more opportunity to create and impact the game, because Maddison had another great game. And that because he's getting fed by Bissouma, who can get the ball to him quicker when Maddison can get it on the turn. Kulusevski had a decent game because, Maddison can get the ball to him on a turn. Odobert was getting the ball from Bissouma at speed. Bissouma was dictating yesterday. He was the architect of the game. He was the orchestrating it all, So what do we all think of Biss? Are we happy with Biss? I forgot to put my banner in for him. I'm talking about him right now. I forgot to put that in. But Biss, boss the midfield. Great performance. We need more of this. I'm so happy to see Biss back. He is my favourite player. That's difficult to get at times. Bissouma is very good, but I want to see consistency. He needs to do it week in, week out. Biss was great. I was chuffed. Bissouma and Maddison needs consistency, and we have a class midfield. Great to see him hugging Ange. Biss was man of the match. Do you know what? You could tell it's been a rough, 10 days for him. It has. It's not easy, in the limelight. Your manager's basically called you one of his children, which is nice in a weird way, but then also he's called you a child because you're a bit, you're a bit of a wally. And you've gone out there and gone, look, if I have a bit of a stinker, it's going to come back awfully on me. But luckily, he completely went the other way. He's an absolute belter of a performance. And that's the Bissouma that we had. For those first 10 games of the season last year, where we were absolutely cooking, Bissouma was such a massive part of why we were doing so well. You think of Arsenal away, and he absolutely bodied Arsenal's midfield on his own. Just give me that Bissouma back. If I get that regular Bissouma, give me a lot of people who are not going to be happy about that, is all I'm going to say. So let's move on. Let's talk about the debut man. I want to get your thoughts, fans, on Odobert. Get him in whilst I talk about him. Odobert, starting out on the left wing yesterday, early on, getting the ball, running at the right back. Let me bring up the right back's name because I've completely forgotten him. Dixon, young man. I think he was the under-21 right back for Everton last year. He was superb. I was so impressed with Odobert, and this is the funny thing about Spurs' football, isn't it? It's, oh, well, he's not Desiree Doué, and he's not Rafinha, and he's not Chiesa, and he's not X, Y, and Zs. And it's like, yeah, he's less than half the price of a Desiree Doué, and they're somewhat a similar player, but he's also got Premier League experience. So he's a year ahead in that development. He was brilliant. I was so impressed with him yesterday. You know, he's not going to win every single duel. He's not going to run past his player every single time, but it's just the directness that he has. And when we signed him, and I said the thing that stood out for me was how direct he is. He gets the ball, and I just want to run at my player. And yesterday you saw it. Just get the ball, look up. Where is it? I'm running at him. That's the one I'm running at. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. But the pace was great. You know, I think, don't wrong, give him a few weeks to get him up to Premier League match level speed, as well as what we want him to do in Ange Ball, because Ange Ball is intense for the attackers with their pressing, which I want to come to fitness because Ange talked about it. But I thought he was brilliant. For what you could expect of a debut, I was mightily impressed. And I didn't think he'd start, if I'm honest. I thought it would be Johnson on the left, Sonny through the centre, and Kulu out on the right. I was somewhat right. Kulu and Johnson both played, but just in the positions I didn't think they'd play in. But he was brilliant. I was so impressed with him. And you know, is Solanke going to be fit for Newcastle next week? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Newcastle play today. I believe they're at 2:00 away to Bournemouth. So we'll see what happens there. But all in all, if he's not fit, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. And actually, looking at or thinking of Newcastle, Lewis Hall, I think, was playing left back against Southampton, and Tino Livramento was the right back. Just get the ball to Odobert and let him run with it. You know, we have a player. We have Wilson. Agreed. Odobert's touch and control on the left side was great. Love his confidence. He'll be great. Odobert should play over Johnson. Odobert will come good. Still questioning Johnson. Johnson can stay right wing. Weakest link. Johnson should step up. Never put Johnson on the left wing again. Right. Really quickly, we can rave about Odobert without putting Johnson down. This isn't a kick on Johnson's sesh, all right? We're just talking about Odobert in his performance yesterday. That's why it's the review. That's why I want to talk about him. But he was brilliant. I was really, really happy with him. Really, really happy. Moving on to Captain Fantastic. Well, he's not Captain America. He can't be doing that. But he's Captain Spurs. You know, obviously the first goal was just his pressing. And the thing is with Sonny, I love Sonny. I think we all love Sonny. If you don't love Sonny, I'm questioning you as a person. And everyone's gone, oh, God, he's playing striker. I'm not sure about this, you know. And, you know, will Richie be there? You know, all in all, I thought he had a good game at striker. You know, actually, I found it very interesting that he wasn't trying to make runs in behind, you know, when we're on the edge of their box. He was more trying to get out of that box and link up, because obviously as the main guy, the striker, the guy who's one of the most clinical finishers in Premier League history, the defenders are all looking at him going, well, we need to stop him. And then, you know, Odobert's got a bit more space. Bissouma's got a bit more space. Madders has got a bit more space. Kulu, whoever, you know. And I thought that was really interesting. But with Sonny's first goal, obviously it was just sheer hard work and press. Beats Pickford to the ball, nips it off of him, rolls it into an empty net, 2-0. Absolutely brilliant. I was so happy for Sonny that he got the goal and he's off the mark. But then also the second goal that he scored. And I know I'm missing Romero's goal. I'll come back to Romero in a minute. But in the second goal, let's be real. What other centre-back in the Premier League can do what Mickey van der Ven does on that goal? Do you know what I mean? Just gets the ball, head down. I'm quicker than all of you. Who wants a foot race? And people are literally, he's catching people up and then running by them. It's ridiculous what Mickey did in that goal. It's absolutely ridiculous what he did in that goal. And then the composure from running from 18-yard box to the absolute other 18-yard box, then just to roll it perfectly to Sonny to take a touch and then hit it straight through Pickford. Mickey, fantastic. Obviously, there was a scare that we thought Mickey might get injured because he looked like he hyperextended the knee. And if you've ever had a serious knee injury, watching that, I was, you know, squeamish watching that. I was like, oh, that takes me back, and not in a good way. I think obviously we got away with it. We dodged a bullet in that. We did dodge a bullet, but all in all, I thought Mickey was brilliant. But Sonny, yeah, absolutely fantastic by Son. So happy for Sonny getting 2 goals as well. You know, people saying, oh, he's washed, let him go, X, Y, and Z. He's got 2 goals already this season. Captain Spurs. Clean sheet. Clean sheet. So I'm going to talk about Romero within this realm as well as Mickey, but we'll talk about the clean sheet. Because we've got a weird fan base that slags off Destiny because he's not fit and he got beat by a player once. I don't care that he's not fit. He's not good enough that he's been beat by a player. Okay, well, he's not fit. So bring your expectations for where they were when he is fit down to a normal level. People go, oh, Pedro Porro can't be a good right back. Can't be a good right back. He's no good right back. And you got people going, Romero, oh, he's rash. Absolutely rash. And Mickey van der Ven, they go, too young, makes mistakes, this, that, and the other. I'll say it again. I will say it as many times as possible. We've got the best left back in the league in Destiny, and he's not fit. He had 45 minutes in pre-season. He played against Leicester. You could tell he wasn't fit playing against Leicester. And Angie even said he came off because he had tightness in his hamstrings and he was blowing. He's not fit yet. And if that Destiny Udogie, that's what's not fit, good Lord, when he does actually get fit, he's going to go up another level, which makes me so excited. And also, that little link-up play of Odobert was quite nice. I'm just saying. Just a little something in that. On Porro, one of the most disrespected players in our fan base, for sure, Pedro Porro. Brilliant yesterday. Brilliant in the first game as well. Maybe not brilliant, but he was very good in the first game. Yesterday was brilliant. I don't know about you, but whenever he's on the ball, I just always have a sense of calm. You know what I mean? I don't see he's going to give the ball away. He's not going to do something stupid. He's got great link-up play, can whip a great ball into the box, which he did for Odobert straight early on in the game. And, it was brilliant. But the 2 boys at the back, Romero and Mickey, just monsters. You've got one guy who can run from one length of the pitch to the other whilst dribbling past everyone. You've got one guy who will block everything. And obviously that header that he scored, I was like, well, this is brilliant. I mean, he's got more goals. What was it? Since the start of last season, he's got more goals than Gabriel Martinelli. He's got 7 and Martinelli's got 6. He's a top scoring defender in the Premier League since the start of last season. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And look, you know what? You know me. I love Romero. I'd have no defender in the world over him. There's no defender. I mean, the only one that the only 2 that I might chat about would be Van Dijk or Rudiger. That's for me, But Romero, what he gives us, and I think Romero gets us. That's why I would never pick another defender over him. Now, obviously, in a few weeks' time, when those midweek games start to kick in, and those EFL and FA Cup games and midweek games kick in, we're not going to be seeing these boys as frequently. Obviously, we're still seeing once a week, but we're seeing as frequently. We'll be seeing a lot of Radu Dragujin, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm very much looking forward to Radu Dragujin, probably more so than many players, actually, I'm looking forward to. So what do we think? So what do we think on the 2 centre-halves and how they perform with a clean sheet? I'm going to come to set pieces in a minute because I know a few of you said it. Mickey's just glass. We need backup. Trust Mickey 100%. Just want to see a solid, pacey backup. Honestly, I said in my group chat when Van der Ven went down, please sign a centre-back. That's what I said to Luke, who was obviously on the preview, and my other friend Dean. I said, please just sign a centre-back. Cooley should definitely start, but can we go to Newcastle with 2 10s? Well, we'll definitely talk that in the preview for Newcastle. Not a backup, but a rotation. Correct. Clean sheet, scoring outside the box and scoring from corner. Spurs is like buses. You don't see anything for time, and then 3 pop up at the same time. It's not a bad shout. Hey, MVR, mate, how are you? Spurs GCTV, how are you, mate? You okay? Good morning, Andy. Great show from the lads yesterday. Oh, brilliant show from the lads yesterday. Agreed, mate. Brilliant. I loved it. I had Spurs here. I had City's game there. And City went 1-0 down and went, ooh. And then City went, not having that. 5th gear for 10 minutes, 3-1. And I was like, yep. Been on the receiving end of that before, Ipswich. Who will Radu play over? Where'll be rotation? It'll be rotation, mate. I believe Destiny now. I believe we're doing now Van der Ven on the left. What do you mean, Van Gogh? The best thing about the defenders is they are not just defenders. They can play in any position on the pitch. Well, I tell you what, put Mickey Van der Ven up front and play balls in behind. No one's catching him. Honestly, the tactic of we're going to boot the ball into the channels in and behind the fullbacks, especially Destiny. We'll put the ball, let's pump the ball over the top of there. I'm looking at everyone's sort of looking at each other around, going. So they're booting it into the corner with the fastest player in the Premier League. Just want to see how that one works out, especially if you can give the centre half a 5-yard head start. I don't think you're going to do very well there. It was a maddening idea. There was one where Madders saved us from a goal. Yeah, Madders beating Michael Keane on a header was quite funny. And if Everton got the goal, they'd start believing. Van der Ven on left back and Rado at centre back getting playing time. No, well, there'll be Ben Davies, Spence will come in, for rotation time. Just thinking about it, you might even get Alfie Dorrington getting a few minutes here and there. It's plenty. I still think Spurs will do something in the last sort of week of the window. I think we'll still sign another defender. Andy, do you think Spence will be good sport for Destiny this year? He needs to get breaks this season. Well, he's going to get time this season. Spence will get minutes this season. I hope in the nicest way. I hope he doesn't. And what I mean by that is I hope we get a left back or a left centre back who can play left back, but I want Spence at right back. That's what I want. And I like him at right back. Even Terry, how are we? It was good, wasn't it, mate? I didn't mind winning 4-0. I did say 3-0 was my prediction, so shoot me. I was one off. Apologies. 4 goals, clean sheet, 3 points, happy. Absolutely, mate. Not Ben Davies, but definitely Spence. We'll probably get another defender, though. Yeah, I think so. Spence came on, also played well. We now have good options for the bench. Morning, Tony. Imagine Van der Ven's a striker, just balls in behind at all times. Spence might be the left back up, and Archie Gray for right back potentially. Not a bad shout, Azagu. So yeah, let's come over to set pieces. Let's chat about it, and let's do. Should we do the positives first? Let's do the positives first. We scored from a set piece. Romero. Brilliant header. Pickford, no chance. Lovely. Absolutely fantastic. And we have been causing issues with our offensive set pieces. I think teams have struggled. Leicester struggled a little bit with us. And I think we'll get better. When you have a bit more, in terms of height, you have a bit more. Obviously, you think against Leicester, we had Slanky, Bentancur on the pitch. 2 players, that are decent height. This time it was just the 2 centre halves, and Romero still was a monster there. So there was that. Now defensively, in terms of the few good things defensively that I found was when Vic had come for it and he came with confidence. We were good. We were fine. We got the ball. There was no issues, and I was like, oh, okay. Vic with the confidence really makes a massive difference. And funnily enough, when he's not getting impeded very much, it helps. Now, he did struggle a little bit yesterday because I think they'd sort of worked out a way to impede him without fouling him, and he couldn't come for those high balls. We did somewhat struggle. I think, Mickey was out of place for one of them, and you've got James Maddison having to beat Michael Keane, who's their centre-half, for a header, which he did. But it, positioning-wise, wasn't great. And yeah, 2 centre-halves being really all the height you have on the pitch isn't going to be easy. When we talk of like Man City, they've got 4 centre-halves playing quite frequently. I mean, they had Gavardio at left back. They had Akanji Diaz at centre-half. Haaland's up front, obviously. Now, Rico Lewis was right back, but then there was an injury to Kovacic, and John Stones came and played centre defensive mid. So you've got 4 centre-halves and the striker. Monsters, right? Absolute monsters. You look at Arsenal. They've got Ben White's a centre-half at right back. You've got Urian Timber, who can play centre-half, but he's just really good in the air in general. Calafiori came on, by the way, another centre-half. You've got the 2 centre-halves in Gabriel and in Saliba. You've got Rice in the midfield. You've got the other guy in midfield as well. Havertz, lots of big guys. So, with 2 centre-halves, there's always going to be an issue. Now, hopefully, if Bissouma does play, not Bissouma, if Bentancur does play, obviously that's a bit of height, but Slanky as well. Because with Leicester, we didn't have as many issues because we had a bit of a bigger team. We were defending them quite well. Didn't have as big of a team yesterday. You're asking 2 guys to control a whole box. It's not as easy. But, yeah, sometimes you're just looking at Vic going, please, Vic, mate, can you come for that? You hit your parlay this weekend, Tony. Nice, mate. Great shot. Spence does look good there. Van der Ven might be good as striker, but would be more like Darwin Núñez. He'd score more than Darwin. Have to give a great nod to Richie for Cooties' goal. He created the space. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, Richie's still not 100%, but every day getting a bit fitter. And it's nice looking at the bench yesterday. You had Sarr, Berval, and Gray as your midfielders. I was like, that's a whole midfield that can come off the bench. And that literally is a 6, 8, and 10, by the way. That is a whole rotation you can bring on. You got Spence on the bench. You got Dragoshin. You got Davies. You got Werner. You got Richie. And someone said, oh, I'm a bit worried that if it doesn't go well, we've not got enough options on the bench. I'm like, yeah, we're playing 5 attackers. I think you can change things around on the pitch enough as it is. Van der Ven is a flash going forward. Well, ridiculous, isn't it? Spurs need a top striker. I've got Solanke, mate. Solanke would have been licking his lips if he was on the pitch yesterday. You would have expected Solanke to grab a couple yesterday. So there's that. Obviously, looking forward now. Obviously, I'm not going to preview the game just yet, but I just want to bring up because I believe it's Sunday we play Newcastle. Sunday the 1st of September, 1:30 kickoff. So obviously, preview for that will be on the Saturday. Interesting. Obviously, we know about St. James's Park, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Let me worry about it a little bit closer to the time. We've got a busy week of transfers that we need to do. But yeah, to give you a bit of an update with Ange, I'm not going to read out all his quotes. He said that after 65 minutes, like Romero was tired, Destiny was tired. He was saying Mickey was tired. So the fact that by the way, 4-0 and the amount of players that are still not even near match fit or match sharp yet, brilliant. The fact that you can get another basically week until the next game, get Romero more time, get Mickey more time, Destiny's getting more time, Richie's going to get more time. Solanke might be back. There's so many positives now. We've got a little bit of a week of rest. Obviously, we had a short week with Theory. We played Monday, we played Saturday. It's a shorter week for us. Now we got a longer week. Technically, we've got 1 extra day rest on Newcastle. So a little something there. Obviously, they played today. But I think all in all, I'm pretty happy with that performance yesterday. Next week being a really big game before the international break. But again, we've got a team that's not even remotely match sharp yet. Once they get that, I'm really excited by what I've seen so far. And people will look at the Leicester game with blinkers on, not looking at the surroundings, not looking at the situation, and just go, Spurs should have won that game. Because it's lazy punditry, it's lazy analysis from themselves. If you look up and you sort of read the room and go, oh, Destiny's not played any football. Mickey's only just come back, and Romero's only just come back, and Ben's. And then before you start to look at it, you go, God, we're not even near fit. Once we got fit, I'm excited. Fans who say Richie's no good with the ball at his feet, just need to see him turn and burn 2 opponents. All they could do is bring him down. I like Richie. I do like Richie. Johnson is a terrible sign, bench player at best. What do you think? I've always said, because it's been said to us that Brennan Johnson was signed last year for this year. So I'm just going to hold out, see what he does for the first couple of months, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to kick him, by the way, because you know what? We bloody won 4-0, and he was a part of it. And if he's we won 4-0. Like, I'm not going to complain about the game whatsoever. Yeah, maybe there's a few things that maybe I wanted to see a bit more, but if you know what I mean, like, Johnson didn't really do anything wrong yesterday. Yeah, maybe he didn't do anything amazing, but he wasn't really bad yesterday. Let's be real. I don't think any player came on off the bench or started that played badly, if I'm honest. So there you go. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me this morning. Enjoy the rest of your days. Obviously, I'm off to the AEW at Wembley today, so I hope you enjoy what you're doing today. I will hopefully maybe try and vlog some stuff and put it on the second channel. So I will do that. But thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Enjoy the rest of your mornings. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Up the bloody Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Winning at a weekend never seems to ruin it for me. They make the weekend that much sweeter. Thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Speak a hell of a lot more Spurs. Peace out. Ciao.